You're watching ESPN's coverage of Championship Week, and welcome to the Ohio Valley Conference Softball Championship here on ESPN Plus. Coming to you live from OSF Healthcare Field at the Louisville Slugger Park in Peoria. Another quadruple header. She's Kirsten Dow. I'm Max Toma. Game one of the day pits the 3 seed and the 2 seed. We get a look at SIUE and our first look at UT Martin that didn't have to play yesterday. Two teams that met in this tournament a couple of years ago. Should be another fun day of softball.
Yeah, absolutely. And SIUE already with a really big offensive performance. And for UT Martin, they have a very, very good pitching staff. And so we'll definitely test these SIUE hitters.
It's a different look for the Skyhawks this year because they were the 8 seed last year. In the last couple of tournaments, they've only made it one game in. And so here's what things have looked like so far. Today, the game coming up in just a matter of moments is Game 5 here. UT Martin versus SIUE. The game to follow is SEMO versus Eastern Illinois. If you win either of those two games, you already move on to tomorrow, trying to limit the games and stay fresh for Friday and ultimately Saturday when we have the championship. So UT Martin and Eastern Illinois both had a bye yesterday. We'll get our first look at the Skyhawks and the Panthers, who finished second and first in the conference respectively. And then elimination games, there's 2 on the docket later tonight. 3 p.m. It's Lindenwood versus the loser of this game, and then Southern Indiana at about 5:30 plays the loser of Game 2 of the day. We entered today with 6 teams. We will depart with 4. The tournament bracket is presented by Discover Peoria. With endless options, there's no shortage of fun to discover in Peoria. Visit peoria.org to discover what Peoria has to offer. When we come back, it's Game 1 of the day. First pitch, it'll be Peyton Harris in the circle, UT Martin and SIUE from the Louisville Slugger Sports Complex. It's Central Illinois when we return. It'll be Peyton Harris in the circle, her 10th start of the season. Small sample for her against this SIUE lineup, but it was 4 up, 4 down in an inning and a third scoreless when these two teams last faced off against each other back in March. So she gets the ball the first game of the tournament for this UT Martin team. And the starting pitchers are presented by Johnston's. Johnston's, the official recognition company of the OVC. After a day off, a day of rest, a rare one in this tournament for the Skyhawks, they take the field, and there's no pressure immediately, but you want to stay on that winner's bracket side. And when you start a game at 10 a.m., how nice it would feel to get a win under your belt and have the rest of the day off.
Yeah, and I think, obviously every team always wants that bye, but I think in these instances, sometimes getting a game under your belt like SIUE, just get a little bit comfortable. They had a really, really good offensive performance. Hitters are coming in confident. For UT Martin, this is the first time they're kind of stepping on the field and maybe have a little bit of nerves. And so right now, I think in terms of, I think SIU just has a little bit of an advantage starting out here today.
SIUE won 9-1 in 6 innings versus USI yesterday. The season series between these two teams did go to the Skyhawks. They dropped the first one, won the next 2. As it is Justine Torres to get things started. It is the exact same lineup for the Cougars as they tried it out in their first game 24 hours ago. Torres was 1 for 3 with a walk in that contest. As he shoots one the other way down the right field line. Could be trouble. It's past the diving Ricrosio. Into the corner it goes. Could be a triple for Torres. But it hopped over the wall.
Yeah, it looked like it
snuck.
snuck.
Ground roll double instead.
Yeah, it looked like it snuck right underneath the fence, possibly into that bullpen. And that's a tough break there for Torres because that easily would have been a stand-up triple.
It's the corner of the ballpark that is tough for me to pick out over there. I thought it was just going to rattle into the corner, but it did sneak underneath the fence. I mean, that was always going to be a triple as soon as she made contact with it, and Ricrosio couldn't make the grab, but he said unfortunate break. Brings up Reagan Duncan.
SIUE picking up right where they left off. Justine Torres continues to be spectacular for SIUE. Getting the table set, getting on.
Reagan Duncan, this will get the job done. Weekly rolled over to second. Brown will make the play for the first out, but Torres up to third. Probably a ground ball that would have scored the run if that wound up being a triple.
Now batting designated player number 25, Ashley Duran.
And now Ashley Duran, who is 2 for 2, scored a run, drove in one, and walked twice yesterday. On base all 4 times in the tournament so far. Came in with 27 runs batted in. And takes the first pitch strike. True freshman from California. Trying to get the Cougars on the board first. Corners it on the infield, the middle infield back. In our late game last night, it was situational hitting and really lack thereof that ultimately doomed Lindenwood. They had a lot of opportunities just like this. Runner at third, less than 2 outs. In a tournament setting, even in a game that is not win or go home, these are opportunities you have to take advantage of. 1-1 to Duran. Off speed, floats in there for ball 2.
I think what's so impressive about Duran just being a freshman in 129 at-bats this season, just 14 strikeouts and 23 walks. She clearly has a really, really good understanding of her strike zone of the plate. And I think anytime you look at a freshman that has those numbers, it's someone that does a really good job of waiting for her pitch. And I think that's why she's had so much success as a freshman is I think sometimes you press a little bit as a freshman. You want to come in and you want to impress, but she's done a really, really nice job of pitch selection and not expanding the zone.
She's had a lot of quality takes, even on strikes, but in counts where she had some leverage and didn't necessarily need to go after a pitch. It was right on the corner. 2-2 misfires, and the count is full.
Absolutely, and that's a sign of a really good hitter, and something that I think young hitters need to learn the art of is just because it's a strike doesn't mean you necessarily have to swing at it, and you have to come up to the plate with a plan and stick to it and not leave that plan just because a strike is thrown.
Payoff pitch to Duran, and she'll see another one. Making Peyton Harris work. Peyton Harris, she was so brilliant over the weekend, threw twice in that doubleheader sweep versus Southern Indiana. And in her most recent outing, went the distance, 7 innings, did not allow a run, just 2 walks and 2 hits, only 4 base runners against her. And she K'd 6. 3-2, laced into right field, base hit. Ashley Duran still hasn't made it out in the tournament. She's got another RBI, and her team is in front here early.
Just a really quality at bat there from Ashley Duran, like you talked about. Had some really quality takes, even on strikes. Fouled off a few. She knew the plan. They were going to stay away, and they stayed away, and she hit it right back where it was pitched.
She's now 3 for 3 with 2 walks in there. That was such a veteran at bat from a true freshman late in the season. Works it full, fouls it off. I mean, the strike she took for strike 2 was a pitcher's pitch, right? And she just stayed locked in, and then ultimately goes the other way, too. Rachel Trello takes a ball for a 1-1 count.
Just a pitch on the outer half and does a really good job of seeing it deep and hitting it where it's pitched. A pitch on the outer half, that's exactly what you want to do. Just take it to the opposite field. Didn't try to do too much with that pitch.
Trello had the biggest struggles of anybody in this lineup a day ago. Was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts before she was lifted late. But outside of that spot in the lineup, production 1 through 9. And all 9 did reach after she was pitch hit for. Harris runs one in on the hand. Slow roller out to short. As Ava Scott will get the out over to first. Duran moves up to second.
Now by the center fielder, number 13, Abby Harville.
1 run home on a couple of hits after Justine Torres leadoff double. Cougars scored 1 run in the first inning yesterday and then led the rest of the way. That's snagged by Brown, and that will end the inning. SIUE on the board. They leave 1 in scoring position. And our first look at the UT Martin Bats this week when we come back here at Peoria.
Energy needs may change with the seasons, but saving money makes sense all year. With CenterPoint Energy's efficiency programs, it's easy. Home energy assessments help spot ways to save. Rebates can lower heating, cooling equipment costs. And our online marketplace delivers energy-saving products to your door. Electric and gas savings, all from your local energy provider. See how you can save this winter by going to centerpointenergy.com/smartsavings.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. We're big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. Strengthening our community since 1910. German American Bank.
Member FDIC. Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rate so you can keep your finances headed in the right direction. With Elevate Checking from United Fidelity Bank, you're in control of how much you earn. You can raise your rate with a few easy steps. Get more ways to earn more with Elevate Checking and start earning 4.00% APY. Learn more at unitedfidelity.com/elevate or visit your local banking center.
Bottom of the first inning as the OVC Pitcher of the Year takes over. And here's what Avery Arwood did yesterday. 5 innings, was lifted after 1 earned run, didn't pick up a strikeout, had 2 walks, and was dealing with that finger issue, especially later on in that outing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest stat there is no strikeouts for a pitcher who typically sees a lot of strikeouts in the game. Earlier this season, it's UT Martin fanned 12 of these UT Martin hitters in game 1. So it'll definitely be something to watch for today with that finger, because that index finger is so important for her ability to solidify and throw that rise ball. And that really is her strikeout pitch, is that rise ball. She'll go to it to get ahead, and then she goes to it to strike hitters out.
Yeah, Arwood logged 12 2/3 innings in that series against UT Martin, including going the distance in 8 innings in game 1 when she got the win. Punched out 12 that day. Did allow 9 runs, 7 earned runs over that series. You've got to look at Karina Recrozio, the right fielder, to get things started. One of 3 sets of sisters on this roster.
It's an insane stat. Has to be the only team in the NCAA with 3 sets of sisters.
That's always when you start to think about the SIDs and the work they have to do to go somehow find out if they are and go look at every other roster. There's a lot of work done behind the scenes. 2-2. Lifted to left field, foul, and slicing with the wind into the bullpen. Karina Recrozio, the redshirt junior, who came over from St. Bonaventure with her sister Gia. Hitting .361 this year. Over 500 across the last 5 games. 10 for 19. And working a deep count to start things off against Arwood. We'll live to see another pitch.
Good sign so far for Arwood, even in just this first hitter. Looks like her rise ball's getting a little bit better spin than she was able to get yesterday. Really struggled after kind of getting tended to by the trainer. That index finger clearly really bothering her.
Consistently shooting foul balls out towards left. What are you looking for early on to figure out if Arwood's dealing with some pain or if she's got the normal stuff we're accustomed to seeing?
Yeah, I think just looking at the spin on that ball, a lot of her stuff tends to go up. And if she can solidify things going up, I think just like that although that was a ball, that ball had good up spin, good up movement. It wasn't flat towards the end of that last game. You could see her stuff just not jumping like she wanted it to.
Crozio, always a threat when she can get on. 18 stolen bases this year. And shoots a single into left field. Speed aboard to get things started for the Skyhawks. An 8-pitch at bat goes the way of the leadoff hitter.
Recrozio does a nice job. Just gets a pitch that she can get on top of. As a slapper, always trying to hit towards that 5-6 hole, and does a nice job just sneaking it right through there.
Now Kyla Harley, who chops one right back up the middle. It's over Arwood's head, and Woodward makes the tag to get the out. Just an unfortunate placement on that ground ball.
Stepping in play for designated player number 7.
So Harley at
Kirsten
first now for
Brown.
Kirsten Brown, the designated player. Right back to Arwood, looks to first and goes that way. 2 down. A couple of ground balls up the middle, back to back. We'll bring up Avery Makarevich, the catcher.
Now batting catcher number 17, Avery Makarevich.
After the leadoff single, a chance for Avery Arwood to get out of this inning unscathed. It's Makarevich, catcher who stands at 6 feet tall and is having a heck of a season. 11 home runs, 47 RBIs. She is first in the LVC in both those categories. Second at slugging, fourth at OPS. The Eastern Illinois transfer. What a matchup that could be in store, potentially later on. Two balls and no strikes to a player that Chelsea Farmer describes as a unique bird. Somebody who, when she gets off the bus, you're probably not guessing catcher. But she does a heck of a job defensively and obviously with the bat too.
Yeah, I can relate to that as another tall catcher. It's not usually a position that's guessed when people, find out you play softball. I think they usually think first base, pitcher. You get a lot of volleyball, basketball.
I'd imagine so. They wouldn't picture, a 6-footer behind the plate, bending the knees all day long. It's a 4-pitch walk. Makarevich has now drawn 32 this year.
I really think a smart sequence there by Arwood. Just missed on a few of those pitches. But with first base open, obviously you never ever want to walk a hitter with 2 outs. But with first base open and the power that Makarevich has, not a bad idea to maybe pitch around her to get to Brown.
Brown goes the other way to left. Long chase for Fahey, but it drops foul. We saw Fahey's ability at left field on full display on a foul ball in their first game. Probably the defensive gem of the tournament so far. That incredible diving catch. He was going back and over towards that fence. Kennedy Brown trying to deliver with 2 on and 2 out. Senior from Lexington, Tennessee, who has had a career season. Today, her 149th start, 181st appearance for UT Martin, 3-year starter. And now behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. I mean, her average is 64 points, better than it's ever been. Her slugging's 117 points, higher than her previous career high. The OBP's up. Career best in RBIs by 10.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of coaches this week about their veteran leadership and the way that they seem to just get better year over year. And when we asked a lot of coaches, you know, why is that? A lot of them just say more mature and talked a lot about the mental game. Talked about not necessarily, you know, mechanically any better, but just a better job of managing their at-bats, a better job of having an understanding of the strike zone, confidence. I think year over year you just learn a little more about yourself and a little bit more about the mental game.
Understanding the scout and how you're going to be pitched and how the pitcher you're facing is pitched similar batters throughout the season. And sometimes also we hear a lot just how simple it is. Hey, someone's in a slump. They're not swinging at the best pitches, right? Just got to be swinging at the good ones. Pitch selection could be massive. 2 on, 2 away, and the 2-2. Slap foul the other way.
Absolutely, and I think that's the biggest transition from kind of high school travel ball to college is pitchers' misses are so close. In high school travel ball, you have a lot of waste pitches that you don't even have to kind of take a look at. They're just so far outside the zone, but pitchers are so good at the college level of just missing off the plate.
And able to make balls look appetizing out of the hand and most of the way to the plate.
And Arwood is one of the best at that with that rise ball. Rise ball is such a tough pitch in softball because when you kind of load and you start your positive move, that pitch is in the zone, and then as you start to swing, a really good rise ball is going to jump out of the zone.
9th pitch of the at-bat, hit on the ground towards short. Shoveled for Torres to Duncan. We saw that yesterday a couple times. And Avery Arwood leaves 2 stranded in a scoreless first inning as the Cougars will take a 1-0 lead into the second here in Game 1 of another quadruple header in Peoria. Betsy Woodward will lead things off in the second. This lineup for the Cougars, it looks exactly like it did 1 through 9 yesterday in their 9-1 win. Woodward was 0 for 2, did walk a couple times. Starting lineup is presented by Rawlings. Rawlings, the #1 softball brand worldwide and widely recognized as the mark of a pro. He's proud to be the official softball of the LVC. Woodward, Stairs, and Barrera. 6, 7, and 8 due up against Peyton Harris. Huge first game of the day between the 2 seed and the 3 seed. Two teams that faced off against each other in the LVC tournament a couple years ago. It's a very different game that day because it was the 5 seed and the 8 seed. It was one of the opening elimination games on day 1 on Wednesday. UT Martin was the 5. SIU got the win as the 8 seed, 6-1 that morning. And then last year, UT Martin was themselves the 8 seed and lost to the 5 seed. 5-0. That was Lindenwood in 2025. So it's been one and done. Back-to-back years. Now they didn't have to play day 1. And you know that Chelsea Farmer and her team and program was thrilled for that fact. Scooped up on the infield. Diving play. Oh, what a grab from Ava Scott. Going all the way to the top of the circle to make the catch.
Yeah, the wind really swirling right now, and that ball looked like it was just going to be a lazy fly ball just right to the shortstop, and got picked up by the wind, and that ball got carried all the way back to the pitcher's circle.
11, Jesslyn Stairs.
I mean, when contact was made, I don't think Harris had any idea that that wasn't going to drop too far behind her because it just kept coming further and further in. Obviously, you never really let the pitcher call a pop-up on the infield. We know that, but pitchers are athletes. Jesselyn Stairs up there, right on left, matchup with 1 out and nobody on.
This is the part of the order against USI that they had so much success yesterday. 7, 8, 9 hitters. Produced 5 hits to turn the lineup over. That was the key to their success yesterday against USI.
Yeah, Stairs was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Barrera, who's on deck, was the same. 2 for 4 with a couple ribbies. A lot of the teams that won yesterday got a ton of production from the bottom portion of the lineup. And the Cougars with the game under their belt. A nice convincing win in a shortened 6 innings. They had to be pretty pumped with that drop at first yesterday to end that game early. Didn't have to go pitch another frame. And now you come into day 2 with a little momentum, knowing if you win this first game, you don't have to play again until tomorrow. And it's a 1-out walk to Stairs. You win either of these 2 morning games, you're really set up for success because then you get to play tomorrow and you'd have a chance to potentially just play 1 on Friday to get to Saturday.
Yeah, in a double elimination tournament, I mean, it's so important. It's so hard to claw your way out of that loser's bracket.
That's the easy path. But in these tournaments, all across the country, you'll always see some of those lower seeds making runs and having to play a lot. Win a couple games yesterday, move on and just continue to fight and scratch tooth and nail to advance.
Yeah, yesterday that was SEMO. Put on 2 really good performances yesterday. Beat a really good Lindenwood team, some timely clutch hitting.
Lindenwood, the 4th seed, will have their backs to the wall later on today, like this afternoon. USI is in an elimination game tonight. But the 5 seed SEMO, maybe the biggest headliner yesterday with 2 wins.
And that's what's so interesting about these conference tournaments. In seeding doesn't really tell the whole story, and we've talked about this a little bit on the broadcast, but the teams that make a run in the postseason and make a run into regionals and super regionals aren't necessarily the best teams all year. They're the teams that peak at the right time. And, you know, that's a conversation constantly in a program is, you know, you play so many games in a softball season, and there's so many ups and downs, and you can't ride the roller coaster. If you ride the roller coaster, you're never going to get off of it. And just really the best teams are the ones that can kind of just stay middle of the road and peak at the right time. And the right time is kind of late in April and May, and that's what you're seeing out of SEMO.
That's what you hear a lot about, the best teams and the best players. 2-2. Misses for ball 3. You can celebrate the wins. Obviously, you got to fight through adversity and the losses, but you got to ride a continual middle, right? Never get too high, never get too low.
Yeah, and that's
a long season.
The key as a player and as a team is you just can't let the highs get too high and you can't let the lows get too low. And in the game of softball and baseball, it's such a game of failure, and there's arguably a lot more lows than there are highs at times. And I think that is part of the maturity aspect of players when you look from freshman year, sophomore year, junior year is I think learning the art of that, of learning to just stay kind of right in the middle and not let those lows get too low. I think freshmen, especially for a lot of collegiate players, right? Like you're playing Division I high-level softball, and so obviously you were a really talented player coming out of high school and travel ball, and you're not used to failing a ton. I know that was a huge learning curve for me as, failure didn't come as often when you're in high school and travel ball, and then you get to college, and it's a whole new ball game of learning how to fail.
And a lot of those athletes, they didn't fail when they were in first grade or second grade
or
middle school or high school or travel ball or what have you. Jam shot in the air, right back Ava Scott's way. And now there's 2 outs as Kaylin Fahey pops out of the infield.
And I think that leads to the bigger, going to open up a can of worms here, Pandora's box, but the transfer portal, right? And kind of what are we teaching these kids? When adversity strikes, we just jump in the portal, and I think that's why a lot of people have a really hard time with the transfer portal is we're not teaching these kids how to get through adversity, how to grind through hard things. It's like when things get hard, we just jump ship. And I think that's where a lot of people have a hard time with the transfer portal. But we've seen a lot of these schools really, especially these mid-major conferences, take advantage of the transfer portal and take advantage of some kids at Power 4 programs that just weren't happy, and they were able to snag them up, and now they're really strong producers for these teams.
And the devil's advocate in me would say, obviously the positive side of that is players at conferences who have banner seasons, who get to move on and, get a brighter spotlight and maybe move to a Power 4 school and get to showcase against different opposition and tougher schedules and tougher teams under brighter lights. But certainly that mental adversity that comes when you've been successful your whole life and all of a sudden you're thrown in freshman year. Maybe you're not even playing poorly. Maybe you're just not getting a chance as much as you thought you would. And it's tough sitting on the bench and being a role player and coming in and pinch running or playing defense and working hard in practice but not getting, your shots at the plate.
Absolutely, and that's the first time for a lot of these players. That's the first time they've had to act as a role player, and I think there's so much to learn. And there's those kids that stick it out for 4 years, and then you see them just have a banner senior season, and those are just the stories that you just can't feel better about, of kids that just stuck through it and just great teammates. And Coach Sorden has some of those kids on his team, and you're kind of losing the art of that now, where kids are staying at a program for 4 years.
One of the great things about the mid-majors, you see more and more of them than you do. There's very few seniors on a senior day in the Power 4 that have been there their entire careers, and we're just seeing less and less. 2 on, 2 outs, the 2-2. Lunging hack from Torres to foul it off the other way. This has been another long plate appearance against Peyton Harris, and the pitch count is blossoming here early. And these have been some tough outs, 1 through 9 in this Cougars lineup. An inning that had back-to-back one-out walks to the 7 and 8 hitters. Back at the leadoff spot, Torres did well to wait on it, but floats it out to center. Easy play for Harley. That's how the inning will end. A couple of walks, 2 base runners, but no damage dealt against Peyton Harris and UT Martin, as the Skyhawks will grab the bats for a second time when we come back.
Hey fans, welcome to Peoria. While you're here for softball, remember there is no shortage of fun in the Peoria area.
UT Martin coming up to bat here in the second. The first lineup in the LVC tournament this year for Chelsea Farmers team. It'll be Carly Ward, the left fielder, to get things started. Batting sixth, despite might average all the way up at 403. OPS of about 900. 12 walks to go with 60 base hits this year. One hopper right to Duncan. And a quick first down. That was a snow cone grab by Stairs over there at first and did well to keep that foot occupying the base.
As a hitter, hitting in that kind of 5, 6, 7 area was my favorite spot to hit. Honestly, if you ask, 6 would be my favorite spot in the lineup to hit. Felt like there's a lot of times you got up with runners on base, chance to score some RBIs, but also just the pressure. You didn't feel as much pressure in that 6 hole as you maybe do in that 4 hole or even that 5 hole to produce. You're not, 5 hole a lot of times is protecting the 4 hole. I feel like the 6 was kind of that sweet spot, and that was my favorite place in the lineup. And the place that I found I had the most success as a player was hitting in the 6 hole.
It's an interesting spot. It's just starting the back half, and there are a lot of coaches that'll point out that 6 hole is a spot where, as opposed to the 9, you can also kind of use a de facto second leadoff hitter because the 6 spot in the lineup leads off second most times of any spot in the order, just behind the leadoff spot. You average it out. Jordan Husty takes the ball. And when bounced out in front of the plate, it's 3-0 to the senior from Cooper City, Florida. Husty plays first, has also pitched 6 times this year in relief. Hasn't been in the circle since back on March 18th. But a two-way player, nevertheless. He's 0 for 8 over the weekend versus USI, but was 4 for 11 the series prior versus Tennessee Tech. 18 walks on her season so far. And Avery Arwood, that was a great 3-1 offering to get a little jam shot foul. Husty, a 2-year starter at first. Coach Farmers described her as just a terrific defender and just loud, one of the boisterous leaders of the squad on defense. And fights it off to stay alive. This is another plate appearance that's going to go at least 7 pitches.
Yeah, both teams doing a good job of going deep into counts, making both of these pitchers work really hard for their outs.
Pitch number 7 of the plate appearance is slowly tapped over towards Duncan. Made both plays in this inning so far.
Third baseman, number 10.
So 3 ground balls induced consecutively from Avery Arwood. And that brings up Dylan Scott. When you look at this lineup on paper, this is, for 8 and 9, maybe as interesting and fun as you can get because you got sisters going back-to-back. Dylan and Ava. Rounded out the bottom portion of the order. It's the left side of the infield, your third baseman, and then your shortstop. Popped up, foul territory. 3 up, 3 down, second inning for Avery Arwood. 3 softly hit balls. And the best inning maybe so far in the tournament for the LVC Pitcher of the Year as we go to the third. Into the third inning we go in a 1-0 game. Peyton Harris out there in the circle after that terrific complete game shutout. There's a look at the defense behind her. Day 2 of the tournament, their first game. Start off this day. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup to up for the Cougars. First time through. They had a couple hits, a couple of walks drawn. And the game's first run on that Ashley Duran one-out single. She'll come up second in this inning. That's hit sharply foul. But a good start. This is a matchup on paper. SIU, you include that win from yesterday, 19-9 in conference this year. UT Martin, 20-6, two very similar teams. You'd expect this to be a tight one.
Yeah, and in the regular season, 2 tight ones, one that went to extras, that went the way of SIUE. There was one blowout, 8-0 win for UT Martin, run rule win, and then the last game, close scoreline 5-3. 6-4 that went to UT Martin.
Backing up is the shortstop, Ava Scott. She's had a lot of balls hit her way, including 3 of the last 4 outs.
But certainly a lot of really good film for both of these teams from that series.
Ashley Duran.
Yeah, in the first 2 games today, 2 and 3 seed UT Martin and SIUE, 2 of the 3 games they played were tight. It was a 2-1 series. The Skyhawks took it. You expect this to be very close, and I can say the same thing about the next game. Eastern Illinois only dropped 3 OVC games all year. They rule that just left of the line. But taking on a SEMO team that has won, 8 straight now and appears to be peaking at the right time. Winners of 5 of their last 6 series. And this is a time of year when both those programs tend to shine. Eastern Illinois won 3 straight regular season titles in the OVC. That's right back towards Ava Scott. She has just been a magnet.
Yeah, really good positioning. She's playing really deep. I like her positioning. A lot of times you see middles, and in my opinion, I think they play a little too shallow. But Scott almost on the what would be the lip of the grass, obviously with the all-turf field, but I think a really good job of playing deep and giving herself room to make those plays.
Getting some quieter outs over the last inning plus for both of these arms. Peyton Harris looking for her first 3-up, 3-down inning. Has to go through Trello to get it, and she won't. It's chopped right back up the middle. And Trello, who had begun the OVC tourney 0 for 4, finally picks up her first hit. That's a bat they could use in the cleanup spot. Trying to get the mojo going back in the right direction. And a 2-out base runner.
13, Abby Harville.
Her 3rd hit of the game. They'll give Abby Harville an opportunity.
Yeah, that last at bat, Trello did a better job of jumping on a mistake. I think yesterday, Cade looking a few times and just didn't seem like she was letting too many balls go by or looking at too many strikes. Did a better job of jumping on a strike early in the count, had a little more success.
Harville out to shallow left field, going back to make the catch is Ava Scott. The shortstop makes 3 grabs in a scoreless 3rd inning. Peyton Harris hangs her second straight 0, and UT Martin will come up trailing 1-0.
What's your favorite
Into their home half of the 3rd.
teams on ESPN Plus, the league's
Hey girls, swung the new mantra yet?
No, but I heard that bat is insane.
Y'all want to swing for it?
Yeah, we do, but we know how that went last time.
Yeah.
Let's go, girls. Come on. Man, y'all can stand on your own. I guess I'll give you a couple.
We'll actually take 4.
Mantra, power on repeat.
Ready for a local getaway that feels like a world of its own? Escape the ordinary and discover the charm of Southern Illinois. With local wineries, live concerts, farmers markets, and scenic trails to explore, there's an adventure tailored for every taste bud and passion. Our breathtaking lakes offer endless possibilities for adventure. Rent boats, jet skis, or kayaks, and explore our world. Visit Southern Illinois. Start your adventure today.
What's it like to be a student athlete in the OVC? We rise to challenges and challenge others to rise with us. We show respect. We lead by example. In the OVC, we become champions on and off the field. That's OVC Sports, and you've got to OVC it.
Leading off the shortstop, number 2.
And Arwood still in the circle. It's Fahey, Harful, and Trello in the outfield. Stairs at first, Woodward at second, Torres at short, Dunkett at third, and Pereira behind the plate. It's the same lineup on offense and the same defensive alignment, too, for SIU. 9-1 win for them yesterday and an early advantage here today. And 4 straight retired by Arwood. As Ava Scott faces her for the first time this week. Her older sister, Dylan, made the final out of the second, and now the sophomore from Burlington, Kentucky, starts off the third.
I think most notable for Arwood, still without a K now in this game and last game.
Almost spoke it and willed it into existence there. Yeah, she's gone 7 innings between the 5 a day ago and 2 today without a punch-out. Dylan and Ava's parents are at just about every single game. She fights it off to stay alive. Ava described as a little less talkative than her senior older sister. Chelsea Farmer told us she's going to be so sad when her older sister graduates. That's part of the thrill of playing with the sister, and it's got to be competitive, I would imagine, between the 3 pairs of them. And within the sisterhood and with all of them collectively, there's the first strikeout of the LBC tournament for Avery Arwood.
Spoke that one right into existence right there. And
Arwood
Arwood
24,
goes with the screwball that runs away from Scott and just unable to get a piece of that one.
Back to the top of the lineup as Karina Recrozio fouls it off. So first time through the lineup, she had the lone hit against Arwood, a single that led off the bottom of the first inning. Now 11 for her last 20. That's a .550 average over a stretch of, this is the 6th game. Coach Farmer has said, you know, this is a team, we were talking portal last inning, that really uses the portal to fill in the gaps. They like to get great high schoolers and just develop them. But both the Recrozios filled a couple of needs. And hit her in the box, so dead ball. She had said that Allie, a player who was a senior, the lone senior on the team last year, who went and became an assistant at Tennessee Tech, reached out to Coach Farmer and said, hey, I played travel ball with Karina Recrozio, and this is somebody, her and her sister, you need to go look at and try to get. Flipped out towards left center field, and Fahey cuts right across a Harville.
Yeah, and that's what recruiting is all about, is those relationships. I mean, we talk about it, you know, we ask these coaches, how do you recruit? How do you find these kids? I mean, there's just so many travel ball teams out there now. And, you know, Coach Sorten talked about his relationship with some of the coaches out in California. He just talked about it there with having a relationship with a former player who spoke so highly of the sisters. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she had said of Karina, she's got that dog in her. Oh, something you want to hear about somebody coming to your school, especially maybe an older player who's coming for the first time. Tapped out to Torres, got to be quick and not nearly quick enough. Kylo Harley can absolutely fly. That'll go as an infield single and the second base hit for the team today. SIU, he might be fortunate that hit her when she ran past first, or she might have been able to scamper towards second.
Textbook there
Designated player
by
number
Kyla
7,
Harley,
Kirsten
excuse me,
Brown.
exactly what you want your slapper to do. Just pound that into the dirt. It dies, and just the speed too much there for Torres to throw her out.
How does the turf this week affect the game of a slapper? Because obviously it's taking a couple of bounces differently off this material than it would off dirt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that does change things. I think a lot of slappers try and pound balls right into the ground in front of home plate. And so you're seeing slappers now hit for a little more power in terms of just trying to kind of power slap it through the infield, because turf tends to play a little bit firmer than dirt, and so they can't do their classic pound a ball into the ground, get a really high hop, and safe there. But Harley does a really nice job of deadening that ball.
Mound visit forthcoming from Barrera and from Ben Sorden. Hasn't been much trouble at all. I mean, that infield single ended a stretch of 6 straight that were retired by the conference pitcher of the year. And, you know, I'm sure everybody in that dugout on the first base side is looking at her right hand in between pitches and making sure that she looks okay, feels okay, and has a good feel. She's facing Kirsten Brown. What a day this is for Kirsten Brown. This is a number you rarely ever get to say. Her 200th appearance for this program. 187th start. 4-year starter. Drops down a perfect bunt. Right down the line. A bunt single with 2 down.
Just a gorgeous bunt there, exactly where you want it. Because you have Stairs playing back. That's Arwood's ball all day, and Arwood just doesn't field her position, but really, really good bunt there.
Only chance for Stairs there was to let that roll, and it looked like it had this spin that it was going to roll foul in front of first base. Gloved it instead, and obviously you have to be keenly aware of the speed that's already on, because Harley, if you let that roll and it stays fair, might have tried to dart for third. Runners at first and second for Makarevich, who was pitched around really last time. This time scoops it down the right field line. What a catch from Woodward. Sliding on the warning track. UT Martin will strand a pair at back-to-back 2-out singles, but then the web gem from the SIU second baseman ranging over into foul territory with one of the best hitters in the OVC at the plate. That's a massive out as the Skyhawks continue to be held off the board by Avery Arwood.
Back to a balmy top of the 4th inning here at OSF Healthcare Field. Woodward starts off with a ball here, looking to get this bottom of the order going.
Top of the fourth inning, low-scoring game. This is probably everything we expected this game to look like to this point.
Yeah, both pitchers really throwing well. Both pitchers have had to make some really good pitches in some tough situations. But certainly this is kind of what we thought. A low-scoring ball game, a little bit more of a pitcher's duel with Arwood, and just generally UT Martin's staff as a whole, really, really well-rounded. But Harris doing an excellent job so far.
Backhanded, knocked down by Scott. Throw to first. What a strong arm from Dylan Scott. But yeah, it's an interesting note because this UT Martin pitching staff really is a true staff with all four of them, and collectively, between the group of the main four pitchers, Harris had the smallest experience against SIU, just an inning and a third. A one pitch misses out in front of the plate. Jesselyn Stairs walked her first time up. It's a part of the lineup that went back-to-back walks with Stairs and Barrera on deck.
And I think that might have been part of the scouting report and kind of the game plan coming into this game is SIU has the least amount of film from their hitting perspective on Harris. But that's the nice thing about the way Coach Farmer has developed this staff and kind of has made this team is really more of a pitch by committee. Don't have a true ace, whereas you look at SIUE and you know you're going to face Arwood, right? And so you can really prep for that. I think that was part of the game plan was just, yeah, SIUE doesn't have a lot of scout, doesn't have a lot of video on their own hitters facing Harris.
You got Kreisiger, Schultz, Green. They go with Harris. You're also in a situation where it's not win or go home. It's a little bit of a luxury to maybe go to a different wrinkle than the Cougars have seen this year, or at least seen much of.
Yeah, and I think I like the start here for Harris, but you have to know that probably on a pretty short leash, 1, 2, maybe 3 runs before they're going to go to that bullpen, but so far doing a really nice job through 3 1/3.
Pay off the Stairs. Pulls it on the ground. Couple of hops over towards Kennedy Brown for out number 2. So 3 batters into the game. It was 1-0 on a Ashley Duran 1-out single. Since then, Peyton Harris just kind of found her groove, and neither team has produced a run. Not a whole lot of opportunities. And a first pitch strike to Aiden Barrera. Two hits yesterday. Couple RBIs, already a walk today. And some of the misses have been a little bit further away and bigger misses this inning. A couple of them hopped in short of the plate. That one was way outside. Rocketed right back into center. Third hit of the tournament, second trip aboard already in this game out of the 8th spot for the SIUE catcher.
Yeah, Barrera does a really nice job letting that ball get a little bit deeper. Not a bad pitch there from Harris, but a really good piece of hitting there by Barrera. Continues to stay hot early on in this OVC tournament.
Fahey trying to string together some 2-out hits and a little 2-out rally. Back-to-back innings. The first 2 have been retired by Harris, and then she's given up a 2-out single. Had to pop up on the infield to end that last inning. Now dealing with Fahey, who popped up to short her first time up. Finishing up the second time through the lineup.
Last few hitters, Harris has really lost that off-speed pitch, having a hard time getting that pitch over the heart of the plate. Has bounced that pitch in the dirt a few times.
The senior left fielder takes upstairs. SIU just 1 for 7 with runners aboard so far today. They've already got a couple 2-out hits, though. This could be another tough play in the hole for Ava Scott. Long throw in time! Right on the money. Ava Scott is having a heck of an impressive day defensively, and that just continues through the fourth. With the top of the lineup looming and a base runner already on. A terrific play for Ava Scott to get Harris out of the inning as we're halfway through the fourth. Home half of the fourth inning. UT Martin still trailing SIUE by 1. As the Skyhawks come up to bat, Kennedy Brown up for a second time and bunts it foul. The slapper up there. The infield shifts with 3 bodies on the left side. Got Woodward playing up the middle, but left of second.
Yeah, I love that. I love the scout there for SIUE. Obviously allows Torres to really shade into that 5-6 hole. And then Woodward kind of takes up the middle of the infield. It's tough as a slapper to pull a ball, and that's why they're okay with leaving a large part of that second base area open. And then for Arwood, obviously you can shift, but it's really important then for the pitcher to commit to the outer half of the plate so that the hitter can't pull the ball, because there's a huge hole out there in right center.
Kenny Brown, who's been swinging it well, 7 for 16 over the last 5 games. Player that Coach Farmer is just having more and more mature conversations with about the game throughout her senior season. On the ground at third, and on the infield has just been sensational defensively for both teams today. Made all the easy plays, made some difficult ones.
Now batting left fielder number 16.
Duncan has just vacuumed up everything, hit her direction. I mean, the next 2 batters in the lineup both bounced out to Duncan at third. Their long time was up, including Carly Ward.
And that's exactly what you felt this game was going to be. It was just kind of a game of fine margins. Which team is going to come up with the one clutch hit, or which team's going to make that one defensive miscue. Both of these teams really sound defensively.
Ward checks up and able to hold up. This is your 6-hole hitter who was second in the regular season in the OVC in batting average, 4th in hits, top 10 in OBP, and when she gets on, top 5 in stolen bases. 15 on the season. On paper, not your prototypical 6-hole hitter. You wonder if maybe this is more matchup oriented.
Matchup oriented, and just like you talked about, trying to get to the turn it over for the bottom half of the lineup. 7, 8, 9. Like you talked about, that 6-hole arguably has. So Arwood gets the K. Looks like looking, because I don't think Ward went around on that.
So no strikeouts through her first 7 innings, and now a couple in her last inning and 2/3 of the tournament in total, that is Jordan Husty. Rolls one innocuously out to short. Bad throw. Stayed on the base, though. Torres made the play at short and stares. That's the second time she's had some good footwork and a big stretch over there at the first base bag to save an infielder. We'll see if this does get looked at, because that was awfully close. And they will not challenge it, so we are going to break after a 3-up, 3-down inning for Arwood. That's her second in her last 3 frames. Some more quality defense behind her, and UT Martin's bats have been silenced.
Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rate so you can keep your finances headed in the right direction. With Elevate Checking from United Fidelity Bank, you're in control of how much you earn. You can raise your rate with a few easy steps. Get more ways to earn more with Elevate Checking and start earning 4.00% APY. Learn more at unitedfidelity.com/elevate or visit your local banking center.
In Kentucky, we're moving forward together. Our businesses are winning, and our families are thriving. Because Kentucky is a place where business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. Now, we're looking at a new Kentucky, one where good jobs and a good life are possible for everyone. Y'all interested? We don't blame you. So come explore your new Kentucky home.
.57 degrees and cloudy. I'll tell you, with that 15-mile-an-hour wind, it feels a lot colder than 57 down at field level. This is drilled down the left field line. That's going to get all the way to the wall. Justine Torres in with her second double of the day.
Justine Torres just continues to have good at-bats. Continues to be a table setter. We talked about the short leash for Harris, and looks like this will be her day here today.
Faced Torres for a 3rd time. She got the best of her twice in a game that has not had much offense to speak of for either side. Justine Torres has ripped 2 doubles, one down the right field line that should have been a triple if it didn't go into the fence, and one down the left field line too. And that is a huge run, standing out there in scoring position with nobody out. And as Peyton Harris steps aside, we will step aside too. Crucial juncture of this game when we come back. First pitching change of the game as Peyton Harris is giving way to Natalie Kreisiger. 77 in the third innings, 70 Ks to 25 walks. Opponents hitting just .245 against the sophomore from Huntington, Tennessee. So pitching change in the fifth. And you got to be at your best, Kirsten, right away because you're coming in a big spot. Already trailing by 1, and that is a huge run standing at second with nobody out. And you get 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup to welcome you to the tournament.
Yeah, Duncan, Duran, and Trello. And Duran and Trello both already have hits today.
Big swing on the first offering. Reagan Duncan's out for 2. Ground out and a pop-up on the infield. Duncan and then Duran try to add on to this Cougars' 1-run advantage against the lefty. Coming right after him, a ball at 2 strikes. Kreisiger over the weekend threw once against the Screaming Eagles. They'll have 2 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings. Didn't walk a batter, had 4 Ks though. One of those 2 wins that came in the doubleheader on Friday. And he's ball 2. And you could see Duncan pretty confidently nodding her head up and down, saying she had a good feel for that. Change up out of the hand. And feeling pretty confident about her chances in the box right now. Shoots one down the right field line, curling foul. Good battle.
I think
Kreisiger versus Duncan.
When Harris started to struggle a little bit. Hard to say struggle, but gave up a few more hits. Just that changeup, had a hard time finding it, especially in that 3rd and 4th inning. So these hitters were able to sit on something a little firmer.
Didn't miss by much on either of the last 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes after a leadoff double from Justine Torres chased Peyton Harris. Seventh pitch to the AB, and it's smoked the other way. We have seen some long battles from SIUE hitters. Duncan looking for her first hit of the game and what could be a very timely one. They've got 1 hit with a runner in scoring position. It came back in the first inning.
I think if you're Kreisiger here, you have an opportunity to jam Duncan in.
On the ground, right off the shoe of Kreisiger. Fortunate bounce to Brown, and they get it out. Mark that 1-4-3. That looked like it was going to go up the middle for a base hit and potentially play to run.
Yeah, exactly there. Try to sneak one into Duncan. Kreisiger had stayed away, stayed soft away, hard away the whole at bat, and tried to sneak one in and just didn't get that ball in enough on Duncan. Duncan does an excellent job of barreling that ball up, and just unfortunate there as that ball hits off Kreisiger. Saved a run.
I think you're pretty much mandated when your pitcher gets hit with a comebacker to go out there and at least ask him if they're okay, and I think that's the conversation we just saw.
How about a designated player number 25?
So with a runner at third and 1 out in a 1-run game, we're into the late innings now. We'll see what the infield defense looks like. Dylan Scott going to come in at third. Same with Houston at first. Middle infield about halfway in. Ava Scott always plays somewhat deep. And an opportunity knocking for Ashley Duran. She's got the game's lone RBI. That single that came with 1 out in the first inning. This inning looks just like that one on paper. Torres leadoff double. Duncan a ground out that goes to second base. And here's Duran with a runner at third.
And Duran's definitely going to be a player to watch the next 3 years. Already having a really good freshman year, but someone who definitely, I think long-term can make a case for being one of the best hitters you see in the OVC. Just has a really mechanically sound swing. When I watch her swing, it's just a swing you look at and like you talked about yesterday, just something that can be repeatable.
Saw 9 pitches that first time up before she smacked one into right field, an opposite field single.
It's very quiet in her legs, tracks the ball really well out of the hand, has a good bat angle, just someone that I think over time is going to evolve into a really good hitter.
31 pitch goes the other way again, but foul. Well, he does a great job of using all fields.
Absolutely. I tell a lot of hitters that the sign of a good hitter is obviously being able to hit gap to gap, but being able to hit to the opposite field with power. A lot of times when you pull balls, those are mistakes. You want to really stick to the middle part of the field, and if you happen to get a ball on the inner half that you can lace down the line, but you don't want to consistently do that. Has another really, really good at-bat. This is third or fourth of the tournament that I've just been so impressed with. The pitch selection and the calmness and the ability to go deep into counts. This is a huge pickup for Coach Sorden.
A freshman who's unfazed. Not only has a keen eye, you kind of got to come in the zone to get her. But she hits it where it's pitched. You go away, she'll smack it out to right, you come inside. Not afraid to pull it either. Check swing went around, did Gretchen Trello. So they're at the corners. Got the potential now for a ground ball to be twisted into 2 that would end the inning. Trello just picked up her first base hit of the OVC tournament last time up. Now he's a single in the 3rd, and a ground ball back up the middle. And the off speed does land for a strike on this occasion. Big pitch, 0-2.
Coach Sorden not scared to put runners in motion. Duran only with 1 attempt on the season. And not a likely count to run in here, but certainly.
There she goes. Makarevich fakes the throw, and that's a huge 60 feet. No more double play possibility.
Looks like we're going to see a pinch runner here for Duran now with a runner in scoring position. If the ball gets out to the grass, he wants a runner scoring. Looks like we're going to see Ella Van Bruce again.
Van Bruzigen's in there. One of those funky situations where you let the original runner steal the base, and then you bring in a little bit more speed to try to plate her on a base hit.
Yeah, I did. When Duran made it to first base, I thought we might see a pinch runner, but I like that from Coach Sorden of seeing kind of what Trello does, but now with a runner in scoring position, absolutely you want speed at second base, someone to get a really good secondary, because on contact, you are getting on your horse and rounding third base.
Got her swinging. The first strikeout in relief for Kreisiger and a massive second out in the 5th.
Really good pitch there by Kreisiger, climbing the ladder. Just gets Trello to chase. Big time pitch there and a big time situation there for Kreisiger.
Abby Harville quickly down in the count. So an inning right now that UT Martin would be utterly thrilled to get out of, keeping the score as is. And in a game where the margin is razor thin, sometimes it's a bad bounce or 2 or a bad break, and this is ripped right back up the middle. 1 run comes in, coming around 3rd and scoring. Making it 3-0 SIU as Abby Harville is able to triple up the lead.
And the junior with a really clutch hit. Just a good piece of hitting there. 2 out, clutch hit, 2 RBI. That's exactly what SIU was looking for, is that person. Who was it going to be? And it's going to be Abby Harville. Big time hit there. Huge insurance runs for SIU with outs dwindling now for UT Martin. Big time at bat.
So I was going to say the unfortunate break But that ground ball off the bat of Duncan hit the pitcher, probably would have scored a run instead. Actually turned into an out because it bounced and caromed right to the second baseman. But a great move to put in Brusigan as a pitch runner. She scores on a ground ball single to center. And 3-0 feels a lot more comfortable if you are SIUE. You've got a little bit of wiggle room.
And like we talked about yesterday, when you can give Avery Arwood a 3-run lead, you have to feel good about your chances.
And SIUE has consistently had more opportunities. 3-0 lead. They have doubled up UT Martin in the hit column, 6-3. I mean, they've had 6 more at-bats with runners on, 6 more with runners in scoring position. Been able to coerce 3 walks so far. And on the other side, like you said, they've got the conference pitcher of the year who looks pretty locked in. Still a chance for more, though. 2-2 to Woodward. And she able to hack that away to stay alive.
Again, for Coach Sorden, another young freshman in this lineup. Has started 42 games, has played in 44. Follow that up with Stairs, another freshman.
Now the 2-strike offering that's fisted foul.
I think that's a testament to Coach Sorden and his ability to recruit really, really good athletes. And just the program that he's built here at SIUE, a program where players, really top players from good club teams want to come play for him.
Off speed, strike 3 called. Betsy Woodward frozen by Natalie Kreisiger, but the biggest hit of the day so far, a 2-out, 2-run single by Abby Harville. And a 1-0 tight game has turned into a 3-0 advantage for the 3 seed. And they've got the conference pitcher of the year coming back to the circle next. Haven't scored yet. The UT Martin offense, they have just 3 hits so far against Avery Arwood, and they've got 8, 9, and 1 coming up. It's the Scott sisters coming up first, trying to do some damage against someone that's been oh so good all year long. And that 8-inning complete game victory in her first appearance of the year against this Skyhawks team. Blooper foul to the pull side. So you got 8, 9, 1 coming up. The task is obviously taller than it was even just 5 minutes ago. 9 outs to work with. I mean, how have things altered over the course of the last few minutes after that clutch base hit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a huge momentum shift for SIUE. Felt like it was kind of up in the air for grabs, that momentum. Big clutch base hit there. Give them a 3-run cushion. Arwood can come out and continue to just attack these UT Martin hitters. Does a good job here, getting ahead in the count.
Dylan Scott fights one off. Right off the end of the bat. She popped up to first, her first time up. The offense has struggled in the OVC tournament the last couple of years for UT Martin. They were blanked 5-0 last year and lost the year prior 6-1 in their first game. So just 1 run in their last 2 tournament games and no runs through 4 frames today. But Dylan Scott has proven to be a tough out. And the put away stuff over the last 24 hours plus haven't consistently been there for Arwood, the likes of which we've seen the last few months, but a punch out in each of the last 2 innings. Retired 4 straight. You know, she'd love another K to start off this 5th. And she gets it. Avery Arwood only getting stronger as the game goes on.
And that's the pitch I think I want to see a little bit more from Arwood, is jamming those righties up and in. She goes with that rise ball in the inner half. She's doing a good job of getting hitters down 2 strikes. She goes to her off speed, and I'd love from her off speed to go straight back up to that hard up and in pitch. I think that's a really good sequence for her.
It's obviously easier said than done, but that's a pitch you just got to lay off, especially if you are a righty hitter. It's up and in. That was maybe at the shoulders. As soon as you commit, there's nothing really you can do. Just hope to maybe get a piece and foul it off. Eastern Illinois in attendance. They were here late last night to check out who they would potentially be facing. Left after about 6 innings. Scott strikes it out towards center, right towards Harville. 2 down.
Max, I can tell you from experience that the hardest pitch to lay off is the ball that's at your eyeballs. It sounds crazy, but man, that ball just looks so good.
By the right fielder, number 24.
That's why that rise ball is such a good pitch for pitchers to have in their arsenal. It's so tough to lay off of.
Especially when it's coming in with some good velo behind it, because, I mean, right out of the hands, you're like, I got a mistake up, and if I can barrel this, it's going to travel a long ways.
Unfortunately, I was the victim of far too many rise balls at my eyeballs.
Hey, you were saying yesterday off air that there was a home run you had in college in the SEC that we were out in third. You were getting maybe some death stares from the coaching staff because it was not a good swing choice, even though it was a beautiful result. Karina Recrozio working the count further in her favor. 3 balls and no strikes, so only 1 walk. 3 strikeouts for Arwood. The 1 free pass came all the way back in the first inning. And that's his strike towards the outside corner.
I think she just needs to continue to go back to that screwball in the outer half. Let Recrozio make contact.
She will quickly trot on down to first, and some words exchanged. That looked like a stare down from Karina Recrozio, and then Avery Arwood was saying something as she was sprinting down the line. And maybe that's the conversation here. Motion's running just a little bit higher. It's a big game. You win today, you move to the semis tomorrow. You lose this one, you have to come back later tonight. That is Christina Bates. Just having a quick word with Arwood, making sure that things are okay with Recrozio at first, and then
God, I love this. You have to love this. Just a little fired up from Recrozio and Arwood.
Kyla Harley.
Those are the things you love to see in a conference tournament. It shows that these players care. They want to win.
Harley sends it foul.
Certainly, if you're Coach Sorden, you just kick yourself when a pitcher gives up a 2-out walk to the leadoff hitter with speed. See if Arwood can work out of this.
I think if you're either head coach, you kind of love the fieriness you're seeing from your player in that given situation. Another good backhanded play from Duncan. She has made every play on balls hit her way at the hot corner over the last couple of days. And the walk doesn't matter through 5 shutout innings for Avery Arwood. She's only allowed 3 base hits all day. It's been a complete performance from the Cougars so far today. Arwood has been sensational in the circle. Torres has been clutch with a couple of doubles. Harville's got 2 RBIs, and Harris did a fine job of keeping UT Martin in it. But it's 3-0 Cougars as we go into the final couple of innings. Today's game track is presented by Visit SI. Make Southern Illinois your summer oasis. This has been a very mistake-free game from both sides. Just very well played, and that's exactly what you want this time of year, no matter who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Just a game of really fine margins. This game so far, the difference just between 2 hits. Duncan and Harville both come up. Excuse me, Trello and Harville.
Now it's the 2 innings that Torres led off. She began both with doubles, came around to score both times, and last inning it was a 2-out, 2-run single from Harville that gave us our current scoreline. Natalie Kreisiger came in, got the final 3 outs last inning. She came in right after that leadoff double. Well, this time she loses Jesselyn Stairs, who draws her 2nd walk of the day. And one of those walks of the 4 that SIUE has drawn today came around to score. 3 passes can always doom you this time of year. Errors, walks, situational hitting. When you don't get the runner home with a person at third and less than 2 outs, it's a lot of times those little things that aren't the sexiest, but like you talked about a day ago, a lot of those things you work on in batting practice when it's just time for situational hitting. Hey, hit it on the ground to the right side. Try to get something up and hit it in the air to the outfield. Just little things.
Yeah, the devil really is in the details, especially when you get to postseason, how important it is. Even you see right now, Barrera squaring to bunt, how important these little things are, doing the little things right. And coaches harp on it, and you hear that over and over and over again as a player, do the little things, do the little things. But when you look back at games that are won and lost by fine margins, it's those little things, those little details that are the difference between winning and losing a game.
And a lot of times when you get to postseason play, the games inherently are a little bit closer and tighter. So it could be a bounce here, a bounce there, a mental decision, a physical decision, what have you. Ball and a strike to Aiden Barrera, who singled and walked today. Showing spun and goes right through it. And you got to know your role and do what is asked of you. And that's what we've seen from Barrera in the 8th spot, from Fahey behind her.
Yeah, and I love these conference tournaments. I think sometimes when you look at Power 4 conference tournaments, you may not see the best lineup thrown out because a lot of them are going to get bids to the NCAA tournament. But for these teams, they're playing for their season. Like, they have nothing to lose. You're not promised tomorrow. You have to continue to win, and you have to win out if you want to see yourself into the NCAA tournament. And so I think there's just a little bit more to play for, a little more chip on your shoulder for some of these conference tournaments. And they just make it so fun to watch.
So this is the 3rd time in 6 innings that SIU has had the leadoff batter reach. In both prior innings, they have scored. Barrera couldn't get the sacrifice bunt down. Now trying to at least advance the runner while swinging away. It takes strike 3 instead. 3 strikeouts already in an inning and a third for Natalie Kreisiger.
Kreisiger gets that off-speed pitch, just buckles Barrera at the plate.
That's that outside low corner. And brings up the 9 spot in Fahey, and takes upstairs. Every inning has been somewhat tough for UT Martin to get through. That is because SIUE has been consistent and applied the pressure in just about every inning they've played in the tournament so far. They've had at least 1 base runner in all 6 frames today. And in a tournament setting, you're looking for clutch base hits, and 2 out runs can be absolutely critical, and that's what they got last inning. 2 runs on 1 2-out swing. That's spunted foul. That almost got interesting because the bat was right on the line and the ball was right adjacent to it.
Yeah, Fahey trying to sneak one down. Husty playing deep over at first base, trying to sneak one, especially with Kreisiger being a lefty. That's tough to field our position.
Don't see that a lot, 2-0, but that's what the count was, and now it's 3 balls and a strike. Walks have played their part today. Harwood has only issued 1 free pass.
Now if you're Fahey, you're sitting on something hard. Kreisiger will go to that off speed.
Misses up high, doesn't get the chase. Good patience from Kaylin Fahey in the 2nd walk of the inning. And in an inning and a third. That's 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. So we've seen flashes of the brilliance and flashes of the lack of control for Kreisiger.
Yeah, I think Kreisiger has some really, really good movement on her ball. Has a really nasty off-speed pitch. If she could just find a little bit more of the zone, be a really good pitcher. A little bit more command.
The sophomore now facing the player having the best day at the plate, Torres, who's 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. And now behind in the count 0-2. And the crowd behind home plate very vocal about both those strike calls. Double down the right field line, double down the left field line.
If I'm Kreisiger, I might throw that off-speed pitch again. Looks really, it's tough to pick up out of her hand. Looks hard, and she's done a good job of locating it down in the zone. She does just that, tries to go back to it again. And so now if you're Torres, you've just seen 2 soft pitches. You have to time up something hard. The likelihood she's going to throw you a 3rd off-speed pitch, time up something hard. I'm looking to stay to the middle of the field.
It would take guts to go off speed again and triple up. 2-2 hit on the ground towards Kennedy Brown. Only choice is going to first. So Justine Torres moves over both base runners, and there's 2 in scoring position for Reagan Duncan. What a huge at-bat this is right here. Already down by 3 if you're UT Martin, and a base hit with 2 outs that scored 2 is what SIU was able to muster up last inning. Duncan hunting that first pitch. And that was a big out to get because Torres has both the extra base hits in the game for both teams combined.
Absolutely, and if I'm Duncan, I'm a fan of sitting on the off-speed. I might sit on an off-speed pitch here. Does just that, throws that off-speed pitch. And that's the cat and mouse game between a pitcher and a hitter. And I think that's what I talked about, is your approach can change in the at-bat. Kreisiger has loved to get ahead and then go straight to that off-speed. And we may see another off-speed or something hard and away. Stays with that off-speed, back-to-back off-speed pitches. And now if I'm a hitter, you know, my thought is Kreisiger is going to try and climb the ladder a little bit. And that's what you have to, every single pitch. Obviously, as hitters, you want to go up, you want to be free, you don't want to be thinking too much, but you also have to, good hitters are going to have a plan and are going to guess at times. And when you guess right, you're going to be successful.
That's why softball is such a mental game. I mean, the break between pitches and in between, you'd be hard-pressed to not be thinking about and trying to break down everything that could possibly come your way in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sitting something on middle half because I want to be able to hit the hard stuff and then sit away for her soft stuff.
3/4 swing and another punch shot for a fired-up Natalie Kreisiger. Has to work around 2 walks, but maybe that'll send some momentum into the third base dugout. She gets 2 more strikeouts. Has 4 on the day and 2 innings of relief work. And the Skyhawks have 6 outs to work with. The deficit just 3 here in Peoria.
Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rate so you can keep your finances headed in the right direction. With Elevate Checking from United Fidelity Bank, you're in control of how much you earn. You can raise your rate with a few easy steps. Get more ways to earn more with Elevate Checking and start earning 4.00% APY. Learn more at unitedfidelity.com/elevate or visit your local banking center.
In Kentucky, we're moving forward together. Our businesses are winning, and our families are thriving. Because Kentucky is a place where business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. Now, we're looking at a new Kentucky, one where good jobs and a good life are possible for everyone. Y'all interested? We don't blame you. So come explore your new Kentucky home.
This could be the inning to do it. Kreisiger gets some juice and some life back in the legs of UT Martin. And now they've got 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Kirsten Brown, who had a bunt single her last time up, took advantage of Stairs playing back at first, and that got her right on the knob. Just a foul ball makes it 0-2. Kirsten Brown in her 200th appearance with UT Martin. They just caught a piece in and out of the mid of Barrera. Kirsten Brown's really been coming on strong after a very slow start to the year. The average as of April 7th, a month ago today, was 81 points lower than it came into today as. But she strikes out here. And right now, Avery Arwood is piling up the Ks in the back half of this contest.
And Arwood fired up, stares down Brown. See that stare down. Arwood giving a little bit of firepower after that last inning, that walk where they had some words. They're going to get an illegal pitch here on Arwood for stepping out of the lines. She struggled a little bit with that yesterday as well. Last year as well in the OVC tournament. At times, that left foot when it comes through has to land within those two lines.
Makarevich takes a strike. You kind of took the words right out of my mouth. It kind of feels like since Karina Recrozio drew that walk, said something as she was sprinting down to first, it's almost gotten a better version of Avery Arwood out of her. I mean, she's been more fired up, more locked in, showing some more emotion, and just paints it on the inside edge. There's a little bit more life in her pitches now. Not messing around, coming at one of the most powerful bats in the OVC. Avery Makarevich walked in the first, popped up on the infielder last time up. 7 flyouts, 5 groundouts, 4 strikeouts. And those 4 Ks have come across the last 4 innings. On the ground, sharply hit. Duncan all over it. She has been a force at third defensively. That was hit sharply off a very big, powerful bat.
Yeah,
if I'm Arwood, I got a lot of faith and confidence in my defense after what they showed yesterday. Some diving catches, and today the infield. I mean, I don't think anything's been bobbled. The throws have generally been on the money, too.
Absolutely, and Arwood just fired up, like you said, just a little bit more life to her pitches, a little bit more animated.
Kennedy Brown puts that out of play. Defense has been great. We talked about that Fahey grab in foul territory yesterday. That was number 6 on SportsCenter's top 10 plays this morning. That's got to be a fun thing to wake up to. See yourself on SportsCenter, just lay it out, putting the body on the line, full extension. And sometimes you just know when it happens. I mean, when that ball was hit, I don't think most of us probably thought she had a chance, but great angle. Her initial read, that first step, just backdropping with that right leg was perfect, and the catch was something else. And a lot of SIU fans would tell you, we've been seeing that from Fahey all year long.
Yeah, I think just more impressive going towards the fence. Just put her body on the line. Had no idea really where she was. Being on this all turf, you can't feel the dirt, so you don't know if you are coming up on the fence, and just full extension lays out.
And not your home ballpark either. And this is not one you play in throughout the year. Only this weekend it was their first game. 2-2 slowly rolled. That stayed fair. Great pick from Stairs, but the throw not in time. Kennedy Brown able to leg out an infield single. We haven't seen a challenge yet in this game. We might get one here. Umpires are going to at least converge and discuss. That was fielded pretty much right on the line.
I wonder if they're challenging the out or if she stepped out of the box. It looks like they are going to review the call at first base. I like this challenge here from Coach Shorten.
Hey, you've got 2. It's already a couple outs in the 6th inning. And this looked very tight.
thought the call on the field was right when it happened, but nice to get a frame-by-frame view of this. Getting a great look here. Yeah, and you see she's on the base there, touches home plate, or excuse me, first base, and that'll be a tie, goes to the runner situation. We may have another angle here, but does look like she beats the throw by just a razor-thin margin. Yeah, and she's going to be safe there. That should be.
So close. And we'd harped on it earlier in the game. When you get to conference tournament play in a low-scoring pitcher's duel like this, it can be a matter of inches. And right now, UT Martin's hoping they have a 2-out base runner to bring up Carly Ward and her north of 400 batting average in the regular season. I mean, base runners have been hard to come by. This would just be the 4th base hit for them. They have all been singles.
Yeah, and up no, Arwood's in the circle, jumping around, swinging her arm around, trying to keep her arm warm. It is chilly out here today, and just this little bit of time, you have to wonder if she may be given a warm-up pitch or two.
Of those 4 singles, 3 of them have been ground balls that remained on the infield, and 1 of them was a bunt. So really nothing in the way of hard contact against her. And we'll see what this call ultimately concludes with. Always massive in terms of what was ruled on the field, and the initial call was safe. And that would certainly be hard to overturn.
Yeah, I think this call will be upheld and confirmed. Pretty clear evidence there. Looks like we're going to get one more look, but the umpires are returning here now.
Crew coming out. We await the edict. And we will see what Dan Maldonado has to say here. Call confirmed. Runner is safe. So a 2-out base runner and 1 challenge remains for SIUE.
The call is confirmed. And now batting the left fielder, number 16, Carly.
So correct call was made, and now it's Carly Ward, who's 0 for 2 against Arwood today. Ground out to third and a strikeout. Again, they'll display 3 infielders on that left side against the slapper. And someone who's entered the tournament hitting .403. A hit here to bring the tying run up to the plate. No balls and 2 strikes in a critical situation here late. Remember, you win this one, you move on to tomorrow. And a date in the semis, you lose, you play game 3 of today, and it would be an elimination game. So there's a lot to play for and fight for into these late innings. 6, 7, 8, and 9 combined are 0 for 8 with 3 strikeouts. Avery Arwood has made easy work of the back half of the Skyhawks lineup. And there were probably some question marks around the LBC Pitcher of the Year with just how she finished yesterday. Pulled after 5, had the finger issue again. It was getting taped up and looked at, but she has looked strong.
Yeah, and those illegal pitches too all came in the same inning. Just the wheels kind of fell off the bus. Hadn't seen an illegal pitch until this inning here as well. And pitchers are funny in that way. They can be cruising in just the smallest thing, like an illegal pitch. They don't, a lot of people don't understand the power that an illegal pitch call can have on a pitcher and the way what that can do for you mentally.
Torres unleashes quickly and fires a dart across the way to first to get out of the inning. This is the 4th hit allowed by Avery Arwood today. Another infield single and another 0 for the LVC Pitcher of the Year. as the 3 seed takes a 3-run lead into the final frame. Into the 7th inning here in Peoria. Kirsten Dell, Max Toma with you. Game 1 of 4 on the docket today. The 3 seed and the 2 seed doing for a 4th time this year. SIU, if they can hang on, would even up the season series. They're going to have to love their chance in front of them. 3-run lead, not to mention they have 3, 4, 5 due up in this 7th. And when we get to the last of this inning, it's 7, 8, and 9 to up for UT Martin. All 3 of those hitters have struggled against Arwood today. Cougars won 9-1 in 6 innings yesterday, took down USI. The winner of this one gets the winner of our next game. That is the 5 seed SEMO and the 1 seed Eastern Illinois. Right back to Kreisiger for the first down. Actually, Duran retired. So it's going to take a late comeback for the 2 seed UT Martin to find a way to get a win. The loser of this one takes on Lindenwood in game 3 of the day.
Yeah, and I think important next 2 outs for Kreisiger, see if she can get her team back in the dugout. Give her team a quick inning. That always helps propel your offense and the momentum if you can have a quick inning on defense and get back into the dugout.
You know, one of the beautiful things about a tournament like this in softball, especially when you can stay on the winner's bracket side, when you've got the conference pitcher of the year, you don't need to muster up a whole lot of offense. And if you're only playing 1 game a day, 1 yesterday, potentially 1 today, she could stay somewhat fresh throughout the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Would have the rest of the day to get treatment, take it easy, watch film, rest that arm.
In the unique bird department, when Coach Farmer was talking about Makarevich, how often are you going to see the catcher go out there and stand that much taller than your pitcher? But Makarevich is one of the taller players in the league. Gretchen Trello batting for a 4th time. Her 2nd time up against Kreisiger, the lefty. Last time she was Kate swinging. And a swing and a miss makes it a full count.
Trello struggled a little bit in this tournament. Struggled yesterday. Multiple strikeouts. Another strikeout today. Just not seeing the ball super well.
Yeah, you're wondering if that single earlier might get her going, but now she's Kane again. The second time that Kreisiger has fanned the cleanup hitter.
3 big-time pitches there from Kreisiger after
13,
falling behind
Abby
3-0 to
Trello.
come back and get 3 straight strikes to get Trello.
I mean, this is a sophomore in the circle, and you can see the potential for her once she becomes an upperclassman, because right now she has recorded 8 outs, 2 2/3 innings, 5 of those via the K, and she's only allowed 1 hit. But you do sprinkle in 3 walks there, and one of them did come around to bite her.
Yeah, absolutely. She has strikeout stuff, and she has good velo on her ball. She has good spin. Coming from the left side, always just a little bit tough. But like you said, just if she can limit those free passes, I mean, so much upside. I love the movement that her ball has. Every ball has late movement, side to side, up and down.
Break-even pitch coming. And that lands it for his strike.
Has a good off-speed pitch, which is so crucial when you get to college. At the collegiate level, you have to have an off-speed pitch. You cannot just rely on your movement or your velocity. At some point, the best in the game have an off-speed pitch that they can either change the eye level or just change the timing of the hitter.
She's gone to it frequently the last few innings. And that changeup, it's like it's almost in slow motion when it's halfway home. It just nearly comes to a stop. Really throws you off kilter if you're in the batter's box. Ball and 2 strikes to Abby Harville. Had that massive 2-out, 2-run single in the 5th that really changed the tone of the game. Because at that stage, it was 1-0. Felt like the game could break either way. That was the most timely hit of the day for a team that's just 2 for 15 with runners on. This should do it for the inning. 3 up, 3 down, 2 ground outs, and another K for Natalie Kreisiger. And she has given her team at least a chance here. But it is 7, 8, and 9 due up for UT Martin. Last of the 7th when we come back. Winner moves to tomorrow. Loser has to come back again later on tonight. Last of the 7th here in Peoria. UT Martin with some work to do. And it's going to need to be the bottom of the lineup to get it done if they're going to mount a comeback. Houston Scott, Ed Scott, Dylan and Ava, the 2 sisters. Coming up 2nd and 3rd. Those are the scheduled trio. Combined 0 for 6 with 2 Ks against Avery Arwood, who once again is trying to toss a complete game against UT Martin. Would be the 2nd time she's accomplished that this year. The last time, well, the number on her back is 8. She went the full 8 innings into extras to get the W in a 5-3 win. Oh, 2. Swing and a miss, slowed it down, pulled the string, and gets another strikeout.
SIU fired up, Arwood fired up. Ever since that walk, like you said, Max, Arwood just has a little something extra on these pitches.
Now back for the Skyhawks, number 18, Eddie Roberts.
Eddie Roberts is going to pinch hit. Taking the spot at Dylan Scott here. Nice. Some cooler temps, some heavier gusts of wind, and some dark clouds have come over the top of OSF Healthcare Field. 100 pitches into this outing now. At least one strikeout in each of the last 5 frames after going 7 innings without one. And that is a big-time pitch hit single for Addie Roberts. Just her 9th hit of the season in 39 at-bats.
Yeah,
that's why you go to the bench.
Huge, huge AB there. This UT Martin offense having a hard time touching Arwood, and bottom of the 7th, Roberts coming in cold off the bench and just hits it right back where it's pitched. Impressive AB there from Roberts.
I mean, you can see how much darker it has gotten with the cloud coverage. Just past noon local time. Just a little bit past the 2-hour mark of this game. And the baton has been handed to Ava Scott, who has been tremendously sure-handed at short today, but looking to reach for the first time. A strikeout and a fly out to center so far, her line. And now behind 0-2. Five hits, they've all been singles against Avery Arwood. And the 0-2 dumped back to the screen. And right now the Cougars through what is now nearly 13 innings in the tournament, have allowed just 1 run. 12 1/3 innings, 1 scored against them.
And Arwood just north now of that 100-pitch mark. Has definitely had to labor a little more today.
Scott goes the other way. That'll slice over towards the batting cages. Anything in the air out to left is just going to continue to travel. That breeze going across the way right to left. And a swing and a miss and a second punch out of the 7th inning. All 6 strikeouts for Arwood have been swinging today.
Just paints the outside corner. Just impressive there by Arwood.
And now the wind is about as fierce as you can imagine. It's a tough situation for Recrozio or for Arwood. You can see some fans going for cover. And 1 strike away. I don't know how much longer they can stay here and allow this to resume. Got some dust coming up. The computers are moving, the monitors rolling on the table. Potentially 1 strike away. I don't know how they're going to let Arwood release this pitch. Yeah, I think they got to at least call time here. You'll see what they do about this, but I mean, a lot of dust is picked up from the fields. The rain is coming down sideways. The wind is far and away the heaviest it's been in 2 days. And if it's just not the softball gods for it to come in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs in a close game with 2 strikes.
Exactly.
Okay, well, it is at least, I'm not going to say subsided, but lessened to a certain degree. 0-2 on the ground is short. Throw to second is in time. That's your ball game. Oh, what a play from Torres deep in the hole.
SIUE continues to flash the leather between Duncan and Torres. Continue to make plays. Arwood threw a gem today. SIUE continues to click on all cylinders, offense, defense, and pitching. But Torres and Duncan continue to flash the leather behind Arwood. Team win today from SIUE. Got some clutch hitting, great pitching, great defense. Can't ask for more if you're Coach Sorden from this SIUE Cougar team.
So UT Martin will play later today. SIUE already has a berth in the semis tomorrow. SEMO and Eastern Illinois will do battle shortly. That is our next game. The winner of that one will await the Cougars on Friday. And on the other side, we now have a matchup for that first elimination game of 2 today. That is UT Martin versus the 4-seed Lindenwood. And Southern Indiana still waiting the loser of our next game. SEMO and Eastern Illinois coming up after a gem from Avery Arwood. Complete game shutout. 3-0 the final. We appreciate you tuning in and sticking with us, especially through some crazy weather at the end there. I think we've got to go recollect ourselves and gather some pieces of paper and stuff. SIUE gets the win. They're 2-0 this week. So for my partner Kirsten Dell and our entire crew, I'm Max Thomas saying so long. We'll be back shortly after the Cougars in the OVC Pitcher of the Year get it done here in Game 1 of the day.